Yo, what's up? What's good? And nice to meet you. And welcome back. On this episode, we're doing a tribute to one of the most extreme wrestlers to ever step in the ring, the barbed wire master himself, Sabu. Unfortunately, he passed away. Rest in peace to a true hardcore legend. But listen, this isn't a sad episode. This one's a celebration because just weeks before he passed, Sabu had his retirement match, and it was at a GCW event against Joey Janela. It's wild, like the man really gave everything to wrestling, and without it, don't think life hit the same for him. Sabu wrestled from 1985 to 2025. That's 40 years of chaos, scars, and history. He worked ECW, WWE, TNA, and in ECW, he won the world title twice. Now here's something cool I came across. An interview, Sabu once said one of his dream opponent was none other than Finn Bálor. I'm going to give you my take on how that dream match would have gone down. So we're doing some fantasy booking, Sabu versus the Demon, the Prince, Finn Bálor. Trust me, it's going to be chaos. Literally, it's gonna be chaos. It's gonna be trash. You're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it. Also on this episode, a fresh hit or miss recap of WWE Backlash 2025 and a Hotbox Watch-Along where I roll one up, rewind all the way back to 2010, and I'm watching Sabu versus RVD, TNA's Hardcore Justice event. At the time, RVD was TNA World Champion, and he was supposed to originally go one-on-one with his former best rivalries ever, and where he got his best matches, Jerry Lynn. Due to a back injury, he needed to be replaced by none other than the barbed wire master, Sabu. And no, I'm not a judge. I'm just your host. IAN is who I am. A storyteller is who I'm trying to be. And if you're feeling so high in joy, give me a holla. This is New Entry Wrestling Podcast, the place for wrestling reviews, predictions, and fantasy booking. Now let's go. Let's go. RVD versus Sabu. The original plan was, the original main event was RVD versus Jerry Lynn. That was going to be the main event for Hardcore Justice. This event was basically a ECW one night stand. Not the best, but it did have, I think, only two decent, really good matches. Raven versus Tommy Dreamer, the final showdown. And then this one, Sabu versus RVD, the main event. But again, it was supposed to be RVD versus Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn, fortunately, at that time, hurt his back for training for this match. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know why they did all this. I feel like there was an invasion angle with ECW, TNA kind of thing. It's not a bad idea. It wasn't a bad concept. It wasn't a bad storyline, a bad feud. It was kind of it's just how it started off and then how it ended. Everything in the middle was great. And that's usually what happens in TNA's booking. It's how they either have a good feud going on, but then it ended poorly, and then or the feud was kind of dumb how it started, but yet in the middle or in the end it kind of like worked out, kind of like Aces of Ace, for example. It kind of worked out a little in the beginning, in the middle it worked out great, but then in the end it kind of flopped. All right, we got RVD, Sabu. Ooh, Sabu's trying to go after RVD's leg, but RVD keeps taking a couple steps back, making sure he does not go for the leg sweep. Oop. Lock up, waist lock time. Sabu on the waist of RVD, but RVD goes to go towards the ropes, breaks the hole. Ooh, RVD's going outside. Rob Van Dam chants with the fans, or the RVD taunts. I think this was the first time Sabu showed up, like revealed he was bald, like he shaved his head, I believe. Because this is the first time I seen Sabu return. Ooh, Sabu got RVD with the leg sweep. RVD was able to push him off. Yeah, this was the time where ECW, the EV, what was it called? EV Extreme Violence 2.0 or something like that. EV2. It was Tommy Dreamer, RVD, Raven, Sabu, Rhino, Stevie Richards, the ECW originals, going against TNA and the Fortune 4. Um, it was a decent booking, a decent feud. I feel like it could have been so much better. Um, it was a long term thing. I think it was like 3 or 4 months with this ECW feud. I think it should have been like a one time thing. I think what they should have happened was leading up to this pay per view, instead of doing the whole ECW a reunion pay per view, they should have done a regular Hardcore Justice, and then on Spike TV, um, they could have had. That's when they could have had the ECW um reunion or whatever. But that, I don't know why they gave him a pay per view and all that stuff. I guess for pay per view buy rates, but again, it should have been more of a because they didn't even have the top stars. That's what I'm saying. So what I was trying to say was the Hardcore Justice, what they should have done, instead of doing a whole ECW reunion pay per view, it should have had ECW versus the TNA. That should have been the first. They could have done the story of, oh, hey, Hardcore Justice is going to be a ECW reunion. The people are asking for it. The fans are asking for it. So we're going to give it to them. And then TNA shows up and has the feud with them and be like, nah, that's not going to that's how it's going to work. If you guys want a whole theme pay-per-view or whatever, you guys got to face at least somebody for TNA, and then at least that could have worked out something. Then we could have had like that the feud should have happened leading up to the pay-per-view, not after the pay-per-view. And at least that's no surrender, or Bound for Glory, because those were the two pay-per-views after Hardcore Justice. That should have when that's the pay-per-view the feud should have ended. But it kept going all the way to like November, which was the pay-per-view was Turning Point. Which it was like 3 or 4 months at this point, and yeah, nobody really cared that much. And AJ Styles, the Fortune 4 people should have been feuding with, somebody else. I don't know. They should have been. They basically just wasted their time feuding with them for that long again. But at the same time, I kind of understand why, because I just realized there was nobody for Fortune, which was AJ Styles, Kazarian, and Beer Money, Bobby Roode, and James Storm. There was like nobody for them to face at that time. So I kind of understand, This was 15 years ago, so I'm trying to remember on the spot. I'm supposed to be enjoying this match right now. Ooh, a straight punch from Sabu to RVD. Oh, what's RVD? Sabu setting up a chair. Oh, Sabu was gonna look like he was gonna do some parkour stuff. He was gonna jump on the chair and like do a dive onto RVD, but RVD was able to kick the chair onto the chin of Sabu. You know that hurt, man. RVD's picking up the chair. Is he going to do a drop kick? Oh no, he's doing a monkey flip. And he connect on the move, but he was like a foot away from the chair. So he tried to do a monkey flip onto the chair with Sabu, but a foot away, but that didn't stop him from picking up that chair and then throwing it right in Sabu's face. RVD going for the cover. 1, 2. That is not enough to take down the barbed wire massacre. I want to know how many barbed wire massacre matches that he has. Ooh, nice reversal. Ooh, nice, beautiful clothesline from Sabu to RVD. Come on, Sabu, you should have went. He's going for the cover. 1, 2. Should have went for the cover early, man. You could have won. You could have won. So RVD was TNA World Heavyweight Champion at this time. He faced the Monster Abyss the following Thursday on TNA Impact. The whole effing show. Yeah, the main event was RVD versus Abyss for the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Stairways to Genesis. Me personally, RVD won that match, and I feel like Abyss should have just won that match, and he should have gone on to Bound for Glory and main evented Bound for Glory as the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, where he could have faced Kurt Angle. You know, I'm just saying that would have worked out. That would have been great. Or even Jeff Hardy. It could have been a triple threat match. Jeff Hardy versus Kurt Angle and the Monster Abyss, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, because that's who was your monster at the time. But whatever, you know, that was Eric Bischoff and Hogan's booking at that time. They believe, I don't know what they believed. They wanted to put Jeff Hardy over for some reason and have him turn heel. Don't know why, but you know, even though they had the Monster Abyss right there, the guy, hey, this guy was a face and he's heel. You just turned him heel in a monster way, and you're not gonna have him in the main event, Bound for Glory, or in it, like, that's crazy. But he faced RVD in a Monster Balls match. But again, it was just like, why? You know, he had no reason to face RVD again. He should have been in the main event. Or he should have faced Hulk Hogan. Oh, RVD has Sabu on the ring barricade. RVD's going for his signature move. RVD. Oh, spinning leg drop to the lower back of Sabu. Is he out? Is he down? Yes, he is. Let's go, RVD. Sabu's hurt. He hurt bad, man. Let's go, Sabu. You got this. But even though RVD was TNA World Heavyweight Champion at this time, the title was not on the line. Yeah, but Hardcore Justice, it should have been RVD versus the Monster Abyss. Ooh, nice leg drop. Yeah, because you could have had RVD versus the Monster Abyss versus Jerry Lynn. You know, a triple threat match for the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. That would have been cool. RVD and Sabu both bringing tables to the ring now. Ooh, RVD going to the top. Ooh, damn. Somebody threw a chair at Sabu. Sabu caught it, so it was an assist. Sabu tossed the chair to the head of RVD. Oh my goodness! Sabu, after the chair shot to the head of RVD, Sabu went to the top rope, hit him with a Frankensteiner. RVD landed on the chair. Sabu's going for a cover. 1, 2. Oh, kick out. The fans are chanting, you still got it. You still got it. Sabu has a submission move on RVD. Had to let go. Ooh, is he good? Ooh, damn, Sabu. It looked like he was trying to go for his triple moonsault, but RVD was able to trip Sabu face first to the open chair. It was enough to bust him open. He has color in his neck. Color is a wrestling term for nosebleeds. Sabu's hanging on top of the ropes. What was RVD doing? RVD's calling his assistant. I keep forgetting his name. He's the manager for both Sabu and RVD. They're because they're former tag team partners. Oh, he's holding the chair, and RVD's going for a high kick thrust right in the shoulder at Sabu. Sabu goes down to the outside. The fans chanting, "This is awesome. This is awesome." Is it though? Is it? RVD going back to the top rope. Oh, split legged moonsault. One, two. Ooh, kick out. Ooh, Sabu looks hurt. Sabu looks hurt. It looks like he's trying to regret that he kicked out. Maybe his mindset is, I hope his mindset is, I can't quit because I need to be TNA World Champion. But if Sabu does win, he will be qualified for a number one contender match. Not number one. He'll be number one contender. Basically, he'll be qualified for a shot at the title because he beat the champ. That's what I'm trying to say. Ooh. Picked up the chair. Sabu. Oh, damn. he threw the chair right in the back of RVD. Picked it back up and then slammed it. RVD turned around and he gets hit in the head with the chair. Sabu going for the cover. 1, 2, and RVD kicks out. Ooh. Couple forearms to RVD. Sabu's trying to make Sabu stay down. Irish whip. Ooh, reversal. Ooh. Oh, kick to the face to Sabu from RVD. What's RVD doing? It looks like RVD's setting up for a rolling thunder. RVD, you gotta move the table. Oh, no, he's gonna do it even though the table's there. He sets a chair on Sabu and hits a rolling thunder. Both men are down. Well, duh, I don't know why you put the chair on there. RVD's back is hurting because of the chair that he put on top of Sabu. But that's not going to stop him from covering him. There goes the 1, 2. Oh, 2 count, baby. The match is going to continue going forward. Well, die. Nah, they're going to wrestle backwards now. Stupid. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Drop kick with the chair. Poor Sabu. He got a big boo-boo now. He needs some milk. He needs some... Hey, man, when are you guys going to start using the tables? Come on. Are you guys saving that for the ending? I'm going to be honest. I don't remember much about this match. Come on, Sabu. Ooh, boot to the face. Sabu going for a springboard. There you go. And he hits a springboard. Tornado DDT. Let's go. One of his signature moves. One of his signature wrestling moves. Goes for the cover. It's going to be enough. 1, 2. And RVD kicks out. Oh my goodness. Sabu going to the top. Double leg drop with the chair combo from the top rope. Boom! Connects. Is this over? Sabu is crawling to cover RVD. Ref counts 1, 2. Oh! Kicks out. Another signature move from Sabu. But that still wasn't enough to take RVD out and win this match. It's enough to take him out to dinner. Sabu's going once again for the double leg drop chair combination. But this time he's going to put RVD on the table. And RVD was able to move out on time. Sabu crash and burn. Oh, damn, RVD. RVD going to the top rope. He's going to hit a 5-star frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Wow. Alright, that was cool. So Sabu was on the top rope. He went for the double leg drop. Chair combination. But this time he had RVD on the table. kind of like bent. His head was on the table, so like his first half of the body. RVD was able to basically just get up or slide down, and Sabu went through the table, basically sold it to closer to the ropes or the middle of the ring for RVD to realize where he was at, for him to go to the top rope, hitting a 5-star frog splash. And after that, went for the cover and he got the 3 count. Look at the old school TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Oh, is Sabu okay? He looks hurt. Oh, he just needs help to get picked up. And then he went back down. Mr. Pay-Per-View, RVD, victorious at Hardcore Justice 2010. This was a good classic ECW, match at that time. For what it was actually great. It was more storytelling. It was more this. It was kind of like a hit pay-per-view, and also I'm pretty sure RVD wasn't expecting, because Sabu is extreme, like, an extreme guy, and RVD, he was kind of expecting a wrestling match with Jerry Lane, expecting him to wrestle for 30 minutes, and then the chance, because he was gonna have he's facing the Monster Abyss basically in a hardcore rules match, and has to climb a ladder. So he wasn't expecting to have 2 hardcore rule matches. And his match with Sabu and RVD is a hardcore rules because, that's what people want to see when it comes to Sabu. And damn, Sabu really hurting, bro. he's selling those ribs, man. He really hurt. He can't even lift his arms, man. But this was a classic match, for what it was, for a last minute replacement, replacing Jerry Lynn. RVD eventually did face Jerry Lynn in Destination X. A year later, the first time was in Destination X, and then they faced each other again at Bound for Glory 2011 in Philadelphia. I believe RVD won both matches, if I'm not mistaken. The one in Bound for Glory was a Full Metal Mayhem match, which basically a TLC match, basically a hardcore rules match. And yeah, so that was a good one. But I really did enjoy the Destination X match. But this one, this at this time it was RVD's time, so I kind of understand why they went the direction they went. The issue is the booking. That's it. TNA never had bad ideas. It was just the timing and their decisions of who should go over and the booking and stuff like that, and where the direction should lead. It's just like, hey, I got this story idea, and it's like, hey, that's a great story. Okay, but I want to use it on this wrestler. And it's like, no, that wrestler is not ready. We should use that for this wrestler. And that's what it kind of like leads to problems in when it comes to creative in wrestling. And here comes every ECW that intended. There's Bully Ray, Bubba Ray, Brother Demon, or Brother Brother Ray. There's Al Snow with the head. What does everybody want? More money and less problems. Actually, lower every price down. There's RVD, obviously. There's Stevie Richards. There's Simon Dean. I think that was his name, Simon Dean. There's Rhino. Sandman. Enzo. The FBI. Kid Cash. New Jack. Too Cold Scorpio. Dixie Carter. Hey, you know what? I ain't gonna lie, Dixie Carter, she kind of bad, man. I find her attractive. She ain't crazy hot, you know what I mean? She attractive. She like Reba attractive. You know, I don't know if she's from Texas, but or Nashville, but she from Nashville and Texas, she bad. She from Illinois, she alright. Tommy Dreamer, Mick Foley, hey Taz, Mike Tenay. Hey, I'm glad that Mike Tenay was the announcer for this event. But again, I'm glad that Dixie did this. I appreciate that she did. Dix, you know, the only issue was it should have not been a pay per view. It should have been a TV special. If the pay per view should have been the ECW originals versus TNA. You know what I mean? Man, can I book something right now, man? I'll book something right now. All right. So this is how I would have booked it. Hardcore Justice 2010. All right. Let me hold on. Let me cuz I got to let you know how it happened, right? I got to give me a minute. I ain't ready. I know, so I'm professional. So then how you spell TNA? Oh man. How you spell TNA? That's wild. All right, we have FBI, right? We got FBI versus Kid Cash, Johnny Swinger. Oh, that was the other guy who I could have think. I knew it was Johnny something. Johnny Swinger and Simon Diamond. Um, Too Cool Scorpio versus C.W. Anderson. And then we have Stevie Richards who defeated PJ Palacchio, who I think that was just incredible, right? Because I could have swore that's who I saw. Yeah, just incredible. Okay. Just incredible. We also had Rhino defeated Al Snow and Brother Run, who is formerly known in WWE. Spike Dudley. Then we got Team 3D, Brother Demon, Brother Ray, formerly known as the Dudley Boys. Axel Rodden and oh my gosh, Honeys. What was his name? Ball Matt Honey. I don't remember. I remember his Balls. I think I can't. I don't recall ever saying his last name before. Matt Honey. I don't even know if that's right because I've been calling him Balls for so long. And I remember her. I don't remember Kahani. I don't remember TNA using that name. I thought, oh, because I think the fans were just still chanting. Yeah, because the fans were still chanting Balls, and I think Taz kept calling him Balls, and that's what everybody calls him. So I don't think I ever fully. But R.I.P. man, he passed away too, man. And R.I.P. to Sabu. R.I.P. to everybody from ECW. R.I.P. that everybody that passed away. What's next? RVD versus Tommy Dreamer. This was the final showdown between them. Mick Foley was the special guest referee. This was a crazy match, to be honest. This should have been the main event. That should have been the main event. I kind of understood why, because obviously Tommy Dreamer closed out the show, thanking everybody. But yeah, that was cool. So obviously the main event was RVD versus Sabu Hardcore Rules match. Overall show, I'm gonna give it like a 7 out of 10. It was fine for what it is. Like I said, the last two matches were actually pretty great. Everything else could have been it was good. It was a good match. Here's the thing, it was a good solid show. If this would for a pay-per-view, it's 7 out of 10. That's not bad, especially at that time. Um, now 7 out of 10, that's horrible. um but yeah, but if this was a special, free television special, it would have been probably like a 9 or a 10 out of, it would have been a great show. But in the end of the day, the people who would have watched this is the true ECW fans. And then maybe some TNA fans. But that's the other thing. If you would have had some TNA wrestlers besides RVD and Team 3D and Rhino, if you would have had AJ Styles facing Tommy Dreamer and Raven, they could have had it. Raven and Tommy Dreamer could have faced AJ Styles and Frankie Kazarian, and Raven could have turned on Tommy Dreamer, and their final showdown could have happened at No Surrender or Bound for Glory. You know what I mean? There were so many ways that it could have happened. Even RVD could have teamed up with Sabu to face AJ Styles and freaking Kazarian or Beer Money for that case. You know, that would have been cool. RVD and Sabu facing Beer Money, Bobby Roode, and James Storm. And then, so, anyways, that following SmackDown, Jesus, the following Impact show, they had the special, and that's what bothered me. Like, they ended up having a special anyway for the TNA wrestlers, so which they called the whole effing show. And the match was Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles in a career-threatening match, which was that was just dumb. I ain't gonna go into it. Angelina love her versus Madison Rayne for the TNA Knockouts Championship. Matt Morgan defeated D'Angelo Dinero and Mr. Anderson. Jeff Hardy defeated Shelton. Oh my gosh, I cannot. Shannon Moore. There you go. Shannon Moore in a open challenge. Jeff Hardy did an open challenge, and Shannon Moore is the one who accepted. By far the best match, and the match that should have main evented the whole effing show. The Motor City Machine Guns defeated Beer Money in a 2 out of 3 falls for the tag team titles. You know, like, it was fantastic. The best 2 out of 3 falls in history. That should have been the main event. But no, the main event was RVD versus the Monster Abyss in a ladder match for the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. But there was so much more into it. It was like a stairway. It was Stairway to Janice, where Janice is this barbed wire that had nails in it in the end on one side. So, and then whoever grabs it can use that weapon. It's Eric Bischoff booking, WCW booking, so Vince Russo booking. I think it should have just been a hardcore rules match. And then on top of that, RVD won this match just to vacate this title. So, man, that is just crazy. But anyways, let me give you my version, because I had to give you the whole match card that they did to give you my story. Here's my fantasy booking, or how I would have booked Hardcore Justice 2010. FBI versus Beer Money and Frankie Kazarian. 6-man tag team match would have been my opening match. Then I would have had Jerry Lynn and Jay Lethal teaming up, going against AJ Styles and Desmond Wolfe. Nigel McGuinness, that's who he goes by now, or that's his name. Desmond Wolfe that was his gimmick in TNA. So I would have had a 6-man tag team match open up, and then after that I would have had a tag team match. Then I would have had Stevie Richards versus Just Incredible in a singles match. That you would have had an ECW versus ECW, because I believe both of these men are not signed with the company, or so at least right there you would have had a ECW reunion, because I'm pretty sure these two were not signed with the company. Then I would have had Raven versus Tommy Dreamer in that final showdown battle. Then I would have had Team 3D and Brother Run versus Team Inc., which was Jesse Niels and Shannon Moore. They were tag team partners, and they were called the Inc. at the time. And then I would have had them teaming up with Jeff Hardy, because Jesse Niels was kind of breaking away from Team 3D. He was being mentored by them. There was a mini feud going on, and then as soon as this whole ECW invasion, they kind of dropped it. So it was kind of like, why? They should have continued. So I would have had this 6-man tag team match, and at least at that night, I would have had Niles turn heel that night, or Shannon Moore or something. Maybe both of them, and then both of them could have turned heel and attack Team 3D and Jeff Hardy. I feel like that could have been a nice build-up as well. Then I would have had Rhino versus Kurt Angle at Hardcore Justice. That would have been crazy. I feel like the fans would have enjoyed that. I would have enjoyed that, definitely. give him like a good 15 minutes. That would have been hell of a match. Then obviously the main event would have been RBD versus a monster versus the Monster Abyss, Monster Balls match. Basically a hardcore rules match. This is basically Abyss's match, and obviously I would have Monster. I would have had the Abyss win the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, not RVD that night. I would have Abyss go on and main event Bound for Glory, right? But well, what I would do in the end of the night is, because this is like a hardcore and ECW reunion. In the end of the night after Abyss wins, though, I would have had in the end of the night, I would have had Sabu make his return, to help out. So I would have had like the lights dim, turned off or whatever, and then Sabu shows up with a barbed wire steel chair, and then just hits Abyss with it to ensure he gets, runs away and all that, rolls out of the way. So, and then the fans would have been crazy on that, and then that I would have lead to, at least that way you could either still written RVD off because of his contract signing. That's what I'm saying. RVD's contract was coming up, so that's why I was like, why'd you even bother having him win just to vacate the title? Should I just had Abyss win the title? But whatever. So I would have had Abyss and Sabu to face each other again for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and you could have had the Abyss Sabu in another barbed wire massacre match. And then, but with the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, you know what I mean? At the next pay per view, because I believe, so I believe Abyss ended up facing. Did he face Sabu at the next pay per view? No Surrender. Who did Abyss face? Oh, he faced Rhino. Oh, Sabu faced Doug Williams, who was X Division champion at that time. Okay, still, but still, you could have still had Rhino and Abyss for the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Yeah, because at least that way you could have ended the whole ECW. Because if you would have started the ECW and all that versus TNA, it could have started at Hardcore Justice, or it could have kind of ended for some parts and all that stuff. But I don't know. That's how I would have booked it for Hardcore Justice. I would have had Sandman help out. That would have been cool. You gotta have Sandman in the show. I would definitely have it. I just wouldn't have him wrestle, but I would have had him maybe help him in the, what's it called, in the end for the main event. No, because that's more, I would have had Sabu. I would have had Sandman help out in when what's it called? Damn, I don't even know. What would be a good time for him to come out? Nah, I would have had Sandman have his own segment. I would have had somebody come out with a microphone or something. I wouldn't know who. Some like a heel, maybe somebody like Robbie E. Was Robbie E there at TNA at the time? I don't think he was. I don't know. He wasn't there yet. He made his debut in TNA and Bound for Glory. But I would have had some type of heel go out there and cut a promo. Maybe Doug Williams, go out there, go out there and with the TNA the TNA X Division champion in the suit and tie, and cutting a promo, talking trash about the ECW fans and the wrestlers, and then have Sandman come out there and then just bam, hit him with a candlestick, going crazy with the crowd and all that, drinking beer. I think that would have been a nice segment as well for Sandman. So yeah, Sabu, I would have given him that closing main event, and then making it, even if it's like not even the next pay-per-view for the TNA World title, it could have just been the next night of the taping, or a week build-up, something. Or it doesn't even have to be for a title. They could just have a regular match, a barbed wire massacre match, and just that's it, I don't know. So many ways it could have been done, but they chose this way. So, all right, let's do hit or miss WWE Backlash. Let's go. Let's see how many predictions I got right. So the actual event began with Jacob Fatu defending the United States Championship against LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre in a fatal four-way match. During the match, Fat 2 performed a swanton on McIntyre. Knight performed a BFT on Fat 2, followed by a South of Heaven by Priest on Knight, and a Claymore by McIntyre on Priest, who fell into a pin on Knight, with McIntyre breaking it up. McIntyre performed a Future Shock DDT on Fat 2 and Knight. McIntyre performed a Claymore on Knight, but Priest pulled the ref out of the ring. With McIntyre and Priest fighting outside the ring, Knight performed 2 elbow drops on Fat 2 for a near fall. Priest performed a South of Heaven on McIntyre through the table. Apparently, he got a concussion out of that. Drew McIntyre did. Woo! Knight, LA Knight attempted an elbow drop on Fatu through a table, but Solo Sikoa pulled Fatu safely. Jeff Cobb, making his WWE debut, then attacks Knight. Fatu pinned Knight following a moonsault to retain the title. So I predicted Jacob Fatu to win this match, and he got the W on it. Did I expect it? Yeah, I think I expected him to pin LA Knight. I don't remember that one. But regardless, I got Jacob Fatu right on winning. This match was honestly 7 out of 10. Pretty interesting with Jeff Cobb and, being part of the Bloodline. Is he even part of the Bloodline? Well, he's not part of the Bloodline. I know that part, but I mean like storyline wise. This match was definitely a hit. All right. So let's go on. Vira Valkyrie defended the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Becky Lynch. Vira Valkyrie attempted a moonsault, but Lynch got her knees up. Lynch performed a manhandle slam on Valkyrie for a near fall in the end. Valkyrie attempted a Night Wing. That's her signature move, for her finisher move. But Lynch was able to block it and struck Valkyrie in the nose. Valkyrie countered a pinning combination into her own to retain the title. After that match, Becky Lynch attacked Valkyrie, meaning the feud is going to continue. No surprise here. It's going to lead up to Becky versus Bayley. Big booty Bayley versus big time Bex. That's going to be obviously a big main event at at SummerSlam. I actually thought Becky was going to win, but even though I got my predictions wrong on that one, this match was a miss. Not because I got my prediction wrong. It was just I was not feeling this match. I felt like this match was too long. How long was this match? This match was 18 minutes. It was almost 20 minutes. This match. The Fatal 4-Way match was 17 minutes. And that's expected because it's a Fatal 4-Way match. Sometimes with Fatal 4-Way matches, it could be short and it could be pretty long. And for this one, you had 4 big names in this mid-card match, and they all have a story, so it kind of made sense for this match to drag out. But Vira Valkyrie and Becky Lynch, there was no need for this match, obviously because of time-wise. But man, this was not it, man. This was not the one. This should have been like 8 to 10 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. I just was not feeling it. It did not feel like a pay-per-view match or a premium live event. It felt like a Raw match. If that match took place on the main event on Raw, I would have been happy with that. But it just was not. I don't know. I think maybe it was because it was right after the Fatal 4-Way match. That could be it. I think. So I don't know, because I give it a 7 out of 6. No, man, I can't even give it that high of a rate. I can't even rate this one, to be honest. It ain't even worth rating. It wasn't a bad match. It was just like, I just wasn't feeling it, This could be somebody's favorite match of the night, So, and then plus, why am I gonna rate something if it was a miss, right? That's true. No rate on this one because it was a miss. Moving on, right? Dominic Mysterio versus Penta for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. This match was like 9 minutes. This was good. This was perfect. This you would think this one would be like 20 minutes, and you would, but it didn't need it to go 20 minutes. But it would have. I felt like it would have worked out if it did, you know. But Dominic versus Penta, Dominic retained. That's who I predicted, and that was obviously a hit. Even though if I got the prediction wrong, you know, I could have said, "Oh, I think Penta is gonna win the title," and Dominic retained. It still would have been a hit because it was still a great match. You know, Gunther versus Pat McAfee. I got my prediction right on this one. This match was a hit as well. The great storytelling. My concern was, is this going to be a squash match or Pat McAfee going to be a superhero in this match? And it was he wasn't a superhero, but what he was doing was he was standing up to a bully, and that was his role in that match. And that's the story that he told in the ring. I know I'm getting my ass beat, but I'm just standing up to a bully. You know, he's standing up for his friend. So that's the story that he told, and that's what I like. So obviously that was a hit. Gunther made Pat McAfee. Obviously he won by choking him out by submission. Pat McAfee tapped out, and he gave a great performance. And Michael Cole had an involvement as well. I was a little concerned because I thought that was going to be the ending when Michael Cole was holding Gunther's leg and Pat McAfee was covering him. Because I was like, bro, if that would have been the ending, Gunther, you're done. I'm sorry. There's nothing they could do for you. You know, Brock Lesnar could come back and you could squash him, and that's not going to make any difference because you would have been done if that's how you would have lost. But he did it. All right, so now he's good. He's on the road to get back his World Heavyweight title. So let's go. Speaking of world titles, John Cena versus Randy Orton, undisputed WWE Championship. Throughout the match, John Cena and Orton, you know, did their usual Randy Orton and John Cena spots. You know, at one point, Cena even attempted to do a punt kick, one of Orton's signature moves, but Orton was able to move out of the way. And then Cena performed a attitude adjustment on Orton and then grabbed the title. But then Orton performed an RKO on Cena for a near fall. Orton performed a attitude adjustment on Cena through a table, and then Orton performed another RKO for another near fall. Cena charged at Orton with a belt, but struck the referee. Orton then performed another RKO on Cena, but then there's no referee for this one. Orton performed an RKO on Nick Aldis and some producers to control the mayhem of the fact that there was no ref. As Orton attempted another punt kick, R-Truth blocked Orton, basically trying to stop Orton from hurting Cena. But fortunately, all that did was lead him to a RKO. Then Cena performed a low blow on Orton, struck him with the title belt to retain the title. After the match, Cena proclaimed that he was what a real world champion looked like. And he ain't wrong. So I gotta give that match, honestly, I'm gonna give that match a 9 out of 10. Because it was kind of one of those, ooh, is there a possibility Orton can win? There was a little hope, just a little hope, and that's what we got. When you get that little hope of, ooh, there is a chance of this person could win, you know? But that's what, you know, and then finally it didn't happen. It was kind of like, okay, but regardless, I wanted Cena to win. He was my pick. He did win. This match was a hit. Great storytelling match between the two. One last time, you know, one final time, one final showdown between Randy Orton and John Cena. And then if this is the last time, the last chapter of their rivalry, this is the best one. I feel like they could have one more match, maybe even a triple threat match. But as a singles match, I think this is the best one. This is like a good one to close the door. So overall show, I'm gonna be honest. How many matches? So on my predictions, I got only one wrong. One wrong. So one out of five. So that's not too bad. And then out of and then the one I did not enjoy was the one I got wrong. But even if I got it right, if even if Becky did win the title, it would have not made a difference. The match was too long. It was almost 20 minutes, and it was not there, It was a good match. It just, damn, man, that could have been 10 minutes, to be honest. That could have been a 10-minute match. They did nothing that was worth for that to be 20 minutes. You know what I mean? They did nothing. So overall show, damn, it was mid. Yeah, I gotta do. Yeah, it was mid. It was like it's a mid show. Would I go back? I would go. If I would go back, I would go back and start. Damn, from Dominic's match, I wouldn't even like bother watching. If I got 3 hours to kill, sure. But if I don't have that much time. I'm trying to basically like I only got 2 hours. Then I'll start off from watching the Dominic and Penda's match, and then obviously to the main event. But what's really worth watching? I mean, storyline wise, Penta Gunther. So that's basically the semi main event and the main event. And then entertainment wise is Dominic and Penta. So, and then Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. Nothing there. It was cool. It was a fun match, but there was nothing. Nothing. If there was a way to have, I think that Intercontinental Championship match should have opened up the show. And I feel like I think that's the only issue. I think where they placed that match was kind of make it like, not really feeling this one. I feel like if that match opened up the show, I think it would have been a bit better. Maybe time wise would have been shorter. I think it would have been a better opening match. I don't think it was I think that's the only issue with that one. It was just where they placed that match on the card. So I don't know. So yeah, it was a mid show. So I guess 7 out of 10 overall. What's next? Up and John Cena is gonna be facing R-Truth at Saturday Night Main Event after the show he attacked R-Truth, giving him a AA. So that's gonna be pretty interesting. Versus we got Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Champion. We also got Sami Zayn teaming up with CM Punk going against Seth freaking Rollins and Braun Breaker. That's going to be an interesting night. Saturday night main event. What is this? Is this 39? 39. And it's going to be in Tampa, Florida. The next pay-per-view is NXT, or the next premium live event is NXT Battleground. And two of the big main events is Joe Hendry defending the TNA World Heavyweight Champion against Trick Williams. Stephanie Valkyrie versus Jordan Grace for the NXT Women's Championship. That's going to be interesting night. It's going to be crazy if Trick Williams becomes TNA World Heavyweight Champion, because he would be the second outsider or third outsider who isn't signed with TNA to win the World Heavyweight title. I believe Penta was the first. Then Kenny Omega, and then Trick Williams would be the third. Gonna be an interesting night how that is going to go down, unless Joe Hendry, happens to retain. But if Trick Williams does win, who would be the guy to win it back? Would it still be Joe Hendry, or would it be someone new? And if it would be someone new, I think it should be Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy would be a cool one. Or like somebody like AJ Styles, coming back to face Trick Williams to win the title. That would be awesome. That would be something cool. So I don't know. It's gonna be pretty interesting for how it's gonna go down. We also got Triple A and WWE NXT World Collide. We also got Triple A Triple Mania. In June 7th, we got Money in the Bank, and one of the rumors of a potential match that could take place is Cena versus Punk Money in the Bank 2 for the WWE Championship. That will be wild if it does happen. And we can't forget about the 2 Money in the Bank ladder match, men's and women's. It could be crazy who will win those briefcase. I think Drew McIntyre should win and have a real cash in and win. I think Solo Sikoa will be a good one as well. A big main eventer will probably be CM Punk if he doesn't face John Cena for the title, and Seth Rollins. I think one of those two guys should win the Money in the Bank briefcase. And but if CM Punk does it, it'd be pretty cool if Seth Rollins was World Heavyweight Champion by next year, and then CM Punk uses the briefcase to cash in on Seth Rollins, or Roman Reigns winning the briefcase and then cashing in on Seth Rollins, making it a triple threat, kind of like, payback, karma kind of thing, where CM Punk and Seth Rollins are in the main event WrestleMania for the world title, and then Roman Reigns wins the briefcase, uses it, cashes in, adds himself into the match, and then spears both of them and walks out as world champion. That would be something. That would be something. That would be crazy. And then we got, what else is that? And then we got Night of Champions. We got another Saturday night main event that's going to take place July 12th. And the biggest party of the summer, the biggest blockbuster, the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam, August 2nd and 3rd, New Jersey. 2 nights. And a lot of people are going crazy about the meet and greet ticket prices. Man, they're expensive and crazy, man. But that's TKO for you. But all right, let's move on. All right, folks, let's get into this fantasy booking and what I would book for Sabu's farewell match. The hardcore legend versus the demon himself, Finn Bálor. And I'm talking tables, chairs, and all the chaos you could imagine. So sit tight, because I'm about to walk you through how I would book it. This is what I wrote down, because I like doing like fantasy booking. I call it Sabu's farewell match. One last scar. All right, fantasy booking Sabu versus the Demon Finn Bálor in the Extreme Rules match. So this is how it goes. All right, tonight we say goodbye. A legend, a daredevil, a fighter who never needed words. Sabu returns from one last match against the demon himself, Finn Bálor. Ooh. The ring announcer. The following contest is an Extreme Rules match. There's no countouts, no disqualifications. Anything goes. A quiet hums begins. Drum echoes across the arena. The lights dim. Clips of Sabu wildest moments play. Dives off the chair. Moonsault through the tables wrapped in barbed wire. Sabu walks through smoke. No music. No words. Just a chair in hand, his finger pointed to the sky. The crowds chant, Sabu, 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 Sabu. The lights turn blood red. Smoke rolls in. The demon rises. Finn Bálor crawls through the fog, painted in black and red. Chains hanging from his arms, his eyes locked on the man who refused to die. Bálor steps in the ring. Sabu throws the chair at him right in the head. Ding, 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 we're underway. Sabu runs, springboards off the chair, off the ropes, flying crossbody, drop to Finn Bálor. He's wasting no time. This is vintage Sabu. Mid-match mayhem, Sabu sets up a table outside. He goes for a springboard moonsault. Crash. Bálor grabs a kendo stick. Crack right across Sabu's back. The comeback. Bálor sets up a chair in the corner. Charges. Sabu ducks and Bálor flies into the steel. Sabu grabs another table, slides in and sets it up. He lays Bálor across it. He climbs the rope, jumping tornado DDT through the table. The wood explodes beneath them, but Bálor is still moving. The finish. Sabu drags another table. He's not done. He wants one final moment. He sets Bálor up, grabs a steel chair, places it in the center of the ring. Sabu climbs, looks out at the crowd, raises his arm high. He flies the double leg drop chair combination through the table, crashes through on Finn Bálor, goes for the cover. The ref counts. 1, 2, 3. It's done. Sabu wins his final match. He stands slowly, no celebration, no words. He picks up his chair, raises one finger and steps over the barricade. He walks through the fans, shaking hands, tapping shoulders, one last time with his people. The crowd chant, "Thank you, Sabu. Thank you, Sabu. Thank you, Sabu." Sabu didn't need a title. He didn't need a mic. He just needed the fans. One more dive and one more scar. So my final thoughts, honestly, that's how I would book Sabu farewell match. Well, I did book it that way because I wrote it down, obviously, and I was just reading it. So, no bell or whistles, just like straight up, like as hardcore as it could be. He didn't need that flash. He didn't need no titles. He just needed it, like, he needed his people, he needed his fans and the hardcore lifestyle that he lived for, and one last dive, one last scar, and that's how we say goodbye. Thanks for everything, Sabu. And I hope, Sabu, or any Sabu fans, the true hardcore Sabu fans, the true ECW fans, even the ones that follow, the ones that didn't complain that they showed up in TNA. I hope you guys have, whenever you guys listen to this episode, hopefully you guys appreciated my fantasy booking. I know it's not the best version, I'm still kind of new of doing this whole freestyling. I do write down my fantasy booking. There's so much I could type. Every spots I said, it was kind of like, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, arm drag, blah, 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 and all that stuff. No, I'm just going to call in the key moments, key spots where it's like, hey guys, this is what I need you guys to do for the story. And then you guys kind of like work around it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the Sabu versus Finn Bálor. Fortunately, I don't know the interview. It was kind of like a clip, but there is a clip or an interview where somebody asks Sabu who would he would like to face, and Finn Bálor was one of those people. I don't know if that's the only person that was mentioned in the interview. So, but if anybody knows what I'm talking about, let me know. So, but yeah, if there's anybody else you guys would like me to do, I've done one for Gunther versus Bryan Danielson. I don't remember what episode that was, but it was a few episodes back. I know there's like a video of it on how I would book Gunther and Daniel Bryan, and it was for this year's WrestleMania because I really thought Daniel Bryan was gonna come back to WWE, but he didn't. So, but I am open to hear your version of Sabu and Finn Bálor, how you guys would book it. Before we close the door, just remember, life's about balance. Hustle for what you want. Make time for what you love. And don't forget to enjoy the little moments that make it all worth it. Keep moving. stay grounded, and make today count. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Instagram. This is it for this episode here on New Entry Wrestling Podcast. We remembered a legend. Imagine one last fight. Pay respect the only way we know how, through the ring. Rest in peace, Sabu. No mic, no promo, just scars and stories. Thanks for listening. IAN is who I am. A storyteller is who I'm trying to be. And if you're feeling so high in joy, then stay extreme. Until next time, deuces.